I've given this a lot of thought, how I was going to do this, if even I wanted to do this. My story isn't unique. It's very similar to every other story that somebody tells after they have left Watchtower, or if they're leaving, or if they haven't left. It's basically the same story. I was a third generation born in Jehovah's Witness. My mother's mother started studying in the mid-60s and was baptized later 60s. My father's parents came in I think before 75. I did it all. I was a regular pioneer. My father was a ministerial servant. You know, we were the it family of Jehovah's Witnesses. We did everything that was expected of a Jehovah's Witness. And that was my upbringing. I was baptized at age 10, not because... how could a 10-year-old really know who the governing body is or who the Watchtower Bible Tract Society is? At that time, I just thought I was serving God, and yeah, I would always serve God. And I was also being pressured from those in the congregation. They would always ask me, when are you going to get baptized? Because all of the kids around my age were getting baptized. Thankfully, my parents never actually pressured me into doing it. They told me it was my decision, and you know, it was when I then got very stubborn and like, I'm getting baptized, and finally they said okay. But you know, being a Jehovah's Witness was my life. That's who I was until last year. Last year, a friend of my family's visited my parents and shared tat with them, or the truth about the truth. He didn't say anything quote-unquote apostate. Basically, our friend just told my parents, start researching Watchtower history. Find out about the reasoning book, what it says about cross, and look at the reference that they used. That's what started it. So my parents said that they just researched a lot for a couple of weeks, and then they decided to share tat with my husband and I. And I'm so glad they did, because it started us thinking and questioning more intently a lot of the things that Watchtower does. And here we are. So this was October of last year, which was 2012. So, who am I? Well, my name is Shyla. I live in the United States. Like I said, my parents know tat, and I'm so thankful that my husband is still standing next to me, and he knows and embraces tat, and the four of us have left Watchtower. On JWSwitness.net and JWStruggle, I'm also known as Gojira 101. That's me. When I learned tat, as anybody who was in Watchtower for any amount of time, when you learn tat, your whole world in one instant is turned upside down. You're left feeling lost, confused. You don't know who to trust anymore. You don't know who to believe, what to believe. You are shaken down into your core. Your core being is no longer there. It's gone because you realize everything has been based on lies. Sorry. And there's nothing left to replace it. And very angry. There was a lot of nights where my husband and I cried ourselves to sleep because everything is gone. Everything. So anyway, it took a long time trying to relearn everything, I guess, as it were, and trying to reinvent who you are as a person, because growing up I was always the Jehovah's Witness, and always taught, be proud to say you're one of Jehovah's Witnesses, and you do this and do that, all of that. And then when you no longer have that, you're left feeling so empty and lost. You don't even know who you are. So the reason I'm doing this video is because I have to stay true to myself, just like so many other people who have taken the courage on to tell their story on YouTube, to share it with people so you can see my face, you can hear my voice, and this is who I am. My name is Shyla. I was a witness, but you know what? Now I still have my name, and I no longer have the witnesses. The biggest thing is I have to stay true to myself. I no longer want to be controlled or ruled by Watchtower. I know a lot of people who have faded or are fading, and they still are very fearful of Watchtower. They are still, when they found out I was going to do this video, were telling me, oh, don't do it, you need to know, you don't realize the consequences and all of that. But I've already decided to leave Watchtower. In fact, I was basically pushed out, which I'll get to that in a minute. But it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. And I no longer want to have Watchtower having any control over me. And I have to stand up and be myself and show the world that I am not afraid of Watchtower. I don't care what they do to me. Because at this point, I have not written any disassociation letter. I have not been disfellowshipped that I know of, and disfellowshipping means excommunicated from the Jehovah's Witness religion. I am just technically inactive. I stopped turning in field service October of last year, and I'm formally or officially inactive, I guess. But even though Watchtower hasn't disfellowshipped me yet, it doesn't really matter if they do at some point. I'm never going back. I've wasted 29 years of my life serving them. They can't give me that time back. Because my husband and I listen to Watchtower with what they say about don't have kids in this system, wait till the new system. Him and I can't have children of our own. And we want children of our own now that we're out. Watchtower can't give us our children back. Watchtower took my family because my family and I never said anything apostate to anybody. We were careful. We knew what would happen. We had seen it before, even when we were in the religion. We had seen what happens, that the shunning, the gossiping, the backbiting, the bickering, all of that. So we were very careful. And my dad finally stood up for me against his mother, because my grandmother and I had never had any close relationship. She's a very hateful woman. I'll just leave it at that. And so he finally stood up to her and demanded to know what it was that she had against me, and she refused to answer. Well, that was all that it was. Well, when my father was visiting his family, he also went and saw his non-Jehovah's Witness, never baptized brother, so my uncle. And he showed him a few things of the discrepancies in the Watchtowers. Well, apparently my uncle had mentioned that to my grandmother, and from that we got labeled apostates, and my father was spreading apostate lies and all of that. And that's what happened. even before my father came back, and 2 days later, after this confrontation, I get this email from some family back east. And it was my cousin's mother. This is what she said. This is printed off of Facebook because she sent me a Facebook message. I was recently informed of your father's recent visit to his mother and the volatile conversation he had with her, and the apostate things he said about Jehovah's organization. I did not talk to your grandmother and hear from her personally, but through a reliable friend whom I trust implicitly that talked with her. Your mother, it seems, is in agreement with your father. I'm assuming that you and your husband are also, since you are very close to them, and you are also inactive. I'm going to just stop there for a second. At that point, I wasn't inactive. Granted, I could not go to the Kingdom Halls because of a health problem with chemicals, but I was still getting the phone tie-ins, and I was still turning in at least an hour a month of field service. Apparently inactive means I'm apostate now. Anyway, getting back. This is what she said. I am therefore going to defriend you, and if or when you become active in Jehovah's service, let me know. So, I nor my husband did anything apostate. And I find this freaking hilarious because the only apostate literature my father had was Watchtower magazines. So it's hilarious because now if you even show the old light or old information, if you share that with anybody, now it's apostasy. I just find that hilarious. So, because of this whole situation that happened, we got labeled apostates, even though, like I said, myself nor my husband did anything wrong, except guilty by association because I have a close relationship with my parents. We lost all of our family and friends. They started shunning us. And I think shunning is worse than death. Because when you lose somebody, once you come to terms with it, you have that feeling like, I've accepted it, they're dead, they're not suffering, or, however you deal with it, but you have that finality. When you're shunned, and especially like with myself, overnight, in 1 minute, my entire family and all of the people I had ever grown up with, all of my friends, died. But it's worse because I know they're still alive. They're just not talking to me. So, anyway, that's what happened. They forced me out because my father showed his non-witness brother Watchtower magazines that showed their lies. And that was it. We're apostates. We're kicked out. My family won't even listen to me to try to explain it. They just kicked me out completely. Which, you know what? I actually want to thank them because of how they treated us. It made me never want to go back. Because when I had learned Tat, I was still willing to stay with my family and friends. I was just going to sit there and be one of those quiet dissidents. But now, because of how they treated us, I can never go back. I forgive them, but I can never trust them. Because, well, they broke that confidence. They broke that trust. They broke the family bond. So, I have to stay true to myself. And you know what? I do say, I am an apostate. I am an apostate in the definition of a dictionary. The definition, like many have put online, is somebody who just gives up their creed, their religion, or something that they've been with. So yes, I am an apostate. I no longer am a witness. But am I the mentally diseased, evil servant of Satan who is demonic? Do I look demonic? Do I look mentally diseased? I don't know. Maybe I do. Maybe I do. But I'm not the definition of an apostate that the Watchtower has. I am the definition of what's in the dictionary. Someone who just simply doesn't want to be a witness anymore. So even though I haven't been disfellowshipped, I disfellowshipped Watchtower a long time ago. I'm just done. And if any elders or witnesses figure out who I am, fine. What more can Watchtower do to me? They took almost 30 years of my life. They can't give it back. They took my family. I can never get them back. They took my possible children. I can never have them back. So what more can they do to me? Yeah, they can disfellowship me, but I don't care. It doesn't matter. Because what's the alternative? It's really just a simple choice. Either go back to Watchtower or be disfellowshipped. Watchtower has nothing for me anymore. So you know what? If anybody can figure out who I am, I'm going to save us some trouble. Use this video to condemn me if you feel like you have to make yourself more powerful or have all the authority, whatever. I don't care. Do I believe that, sorry, I had to write it down. Do I believe that the Jehovah's Witness religion is being directed by God's Spirit? No, I don't. Do I believe that the governing body is God's sole channel of communication on earth? No, I don't believe it. I don't believe it anymore. Do I still want to be one of Jehovah's Witnesses? No, I don't. Now, maybe that's not quite enough to show that I don't want to be a witness anymore. So I'm going to give you 2 more things that you can use against me to disfellowship me if you must. I have a tattoo, and I openly tell people that I am a true Christian now, a true follower of Christ, and I finally feel like for once in my life I actually have a relationship. So I've also accepted Jesus in my life and now proudly wear this to show that relationship I have. So, you know what? Go ahead. Disfellowship me. I don't care. There's nothing more you can do to me. So, I don't want this to be all negative, all doom and gloom, it's the end. Frankly, I've had enough of that as a witness. I've had enough of it. I've had enough of the bullying, the telling me I'm going to die at Armageddon because I talk the wrong way or I dress the wrong way, or I'm going to die at Armageddon because I watched the movie Twilight, or I play the video game Halo or Star Trek or Star Wars. I don't want that anymore. I want to live my life free. And there's a lot of good things going on. My husband and I are already talking of maybe adopting here in a year or 2 when he gets done with school. Yes, I told my husband to go to school and get an education, and he's doing that right now. I am doing very well in my career. I've actually had quite a few things come my way that normally I would have turned down because of being a witness, and they are actually turning out very well for me. This year I celebrated my mom's birthday, Mother's Day, Father's Day. Next month, July 23rd, 2013, will be my 30th birthday. but it's also going to be my first, and I already told my mom, I want you to make me birthday cupcakes, and I plan on getting it all over my face, because another thing, if you eat birthday cupcakes, you're going to die at Armageddon. Well, you know what? If I'm going to die anyway, I might as well go out with a bang. So, I know it's hard for anybody who is leaving Watchtower. Trust me, I know. I was there many sleepless nights, many nights crying. The least little thing would trigger flashbacks. Even now, it still kind of happens, but it's not as much. You know, the biggest thing for me right now is just willing myself to live. To not be afraid, to try new things, to make friends with people who are not witnesses. I also do want to say, please, try to help others. It doesn't matter what we believe. If you believe in God, Christ, if you don't even believe, it doesn't matter. We're all individuals. We're all unique. But we all still can come together in one common goal of loving and helping each other. Because we've all been there. The feeling of loss and desperateness when we realize that Watchtower has lied to us, that there is no promised paradise that they promised. We just need to love and help one another. So I just ask that you please consider that. And thank you for watching my video. I know it's long. It's a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. It's a hard journey no matter what, because you are having to leave from a very strong mind control. But in the end, it's worth it. It's worth it because you have something that you would have never had if you would have stayed in Watchtower. You have your freedom, and there's no price that you can put on your freedom, on your peace of mind, on your sanity even. So it's a hard journey, but it's worth it because you were free. So this is Gojira signing off. I will never compromise my integrity.
The order is rapidly fading, for the times they are a-changing. time